So if you tuned in last week, you know that we talked about the importance of financial goal setting. Specifically, I mentioned that one of my money laws is every financial goal needs to have a financial action, and every financial action in turn needs to have a financial goal that it connects with. What I know is that when it comes to financial goals, two things matter: how much and when. How much is something going to cost, and when is that cost going to be incurred? Because one of my other money laws is the amount of money you have really doesn't matter. It just matters if you have what you need for when you want to do it. So, my process. So, I'll be sitting there with a client, maybe husband and wife, maybe solo, and we're going to transition to that financial goal conversation. And I'm actually going to start by asking about their job. And my financial goal transition is going to start with a really simple question: is there an age where you just know you're going to be done working there? Why am I asking that? Well, I'm actually trying to get a feel for the time period of when they want to retire. I could just ask somebody when they want to retire, but if I do that, most people give me a number they just kind of pull out of thin air, 65 usually, because that's kind of what they've always heard. But if I ask it this way, it opens up a completely different conversation, and it helps give retirement a more modern framework. Not so much of when you stop working, but when work stops being an obligation. And that's a goal that people can actually get excited to plan for. So I ask this question, what age do you want to stop working at your current job? And I usually get a pretty clear answer. Some people say 55, for example. That's fantastic. That is a when. When? Age 55. Now I just need to know how much. And if you've been watching my videos, or if you're somebody that's worked with me before, you know that I'm a big believer in the big three to start off with, which is making sure that we understand how much money is coming in monthly, how much is going out for essential expenses, and how much is left over. So going to the big three, I'm already going to know how much their monthly expenses are. So I ask one simple question: if we could cover your monthly expenses from today after you stop working, would that be enough? Most of the time, the answer is going to be yes. So we take that monthly number, index it for inflation, and now we know exactly how much we need to replace whenever it is they stop working. Suddenly, retirement is no longer this abstract concept, it's a real definition. In this situation, it's at age 55 at X amount per month. That is a financial goal. And so from here, I'm actually going to go even deeper into this time period. Why? Because I'm still in age 55. I still have the when, half of the formula for goal setting. So I'm going to ask, well, after you start working, what do you want to do? I tell you what, 9 times out of 10, that answer is going to be travel. Great, it's a great answer. But my follow-up questions are going to be, where are you going? Road trip? Airplane? First class or coach? You staying at the Ritz-Carlton, Airbnb, Marriott? How often are we doing this? So now the I want to travel has become something a lot more concrete. Maybe it's international travel, twice a year, first class staying at the Marriott. And I can take that goal and I can calculate exactly how much that's going to cost today. And once I know how much it costs today, I can index it for inflation and tell you how much it's going to cost in any other year. So in addition to have retirement, age 55 at X amount per year, we have travel, age 55 at X amount per year. Two goals. And I'm just going to go deeper and deeper, because once I have age 55 goals, I still want to know everything else in between. So I ask, well, do you want to wait until age 55 to start traveling? Of course they don't. They usually want to start traveling as soon as possible. Boom, new goal, new time period. Travel. Let's say twice a year, starting today at X amount. And now it just flows from here. What else do you want to do now? What about 5 years from now? 10 years from now? Every answer becomes a when and how much. And suddenly we have a complete picture of what your financial life is actually supposed to look like. Now, I'll be very honest with you. It's not always that clean. This process takes time and it takes discipline. And more than ever now, I see people skip it entirely, jumping straight into the actions, bypassing the goals. But like I said, every action has to be married to a financial goal and vice versa. But people nowadays are looking for more and more shortcuts. And for next week's video, I'm going to dive into that and talk to you about what can happen if you start bypassing goal setting and jumping straight to action. Stay tuned.